Hey everybody, it's Dave here. Thank you for tuning in to this special edition of Desert Sky Adventures on location from the Pacific Northwest. Today we're going to take a trip down a historic highway, very scenic highway that you probably never heard of. But before we get to that, I just want to take a second to thank two of our newest exclusive members on YouTube who both recently rejoined. We've got Buzz Busby and 2017 Dinah Lowe. We've also got a couple members that just hit their 1 year mark of membership. We've got JT Ellis and Ann Sutherland. Thank you all so much for your support. It really means a lot to us. If you would like to help support us, you can do that by clicking the join button at the top of the channel page. It's just a couple dollars a month and it goes a long way to helping us keep this content coming to you. Thank you so much, everyone who supports the channel. We appreciate you all. And now let's get on to today's video. Well, hello again, everybody. Welcome back to Desert Sky Adventures. As you can tell, we are not in the desert today. Today we are on location where our journey will begin in the small town of Cave Junction, Oregon, a southern Oregon town right here alongside of the Redwood Highway 199, one of America's most scenic and oldest highways. Today we're going to take a trip down the 199. We're going to talk a little history and show you the sights along the way. And as always, you're invited to come along with us. So buckle in, it's going to be quite a trip. In the summer of 1917, when Highway 101 was under construction, three famous American scientists traveled north to see the redwoods. They were concerned the new highway might result in serious damage to the North Coast primeval redwood forest. They were especially concerned about the magnificent stand of very old, very tall redwoods on Bull Creek and the nearby Dyerville Flat, considered to be one of America's great scenic and natural treasures. But the whole area was privately owned and absolutely no protective measures were yet in place. Traveling alongside the Eel River north of Garberville, the three scientists were increasingly delighted by the beauty of the redwood forest. But delight turned to astonishment and silence when they reached Bull Creek and walked among its undisturbed ancient redwoods. All their lives they had known great forests, but in this grove, in the presence of such awe-inspiring beauty and serenity, they felt compelled to remove their hats and speak only in whispers. That evening, the three scientists agreed that a state or national park was needed to save some part of the North Coast redwood forest for future generations. And a year later, the Save the Redwoods League was formed. They would ensure that the construction of the new 199 highway from Crescent City to Grants Pass would disturb the natural order in the forest as little as possible. The unpaved Redwood Highway opened in the late 1920s, replacing the Gaski toll road, which was constructed in 1887. Local newspapers called it one of the great recreational highways in America and said it improved travel conditions within one of the most beautiful sections of California. The US-199 is one of the original U.S. routes created during November of 1926. Today, it's our turn to take a trip down the 199 portion of the Redwood Highway. We'll be getting our start in the part of Oregon known as the Illinois Valley, in the valley's only city, Cave Junction. Heading south towards the California border. But before crossing into California, we'll be making a little stop in a very small town of about 500 people, known as OBrien, Oregon. On January 21, 1887, the backers of the McCloud River Lumber Company incorporated the McCloud River Railroad Company to assume construction and operation near California's Mount Shasta. This would have nothing to do with O'Brien, however, as this railcar was simply painted by the owner and put here because he was a fan of the railway. The O'Brien Post Office and General Store, on the other hand, at least according to the people inside, it's been in business since sometime in the 1920s. Here's a picture I found from sometime in the 1960s. From the town of O'Brien, we now hop back on the US-199 heading south towards the California border into an area that was unfortunately destroyed by a huge fire just a couple years ago. It didn't take very long to find the first casualties. So here we are at the Patrick Creek Lodge, which used to be a very popular destination along the 199. But as you can see, things here have changed just a little bit. I didn't realize this place was not open. I don't know if they're permanently closed or what, but they've got a gate here. Keep out, no trespassing. I can remember many years ago coming through here with my mom and getting some food right here in this used to be a little restaurant right there. And we sat like right back here in this back corner somewhere. But the hotel and restaurant appears to be closed now. And you can see back here in the distance, a few years ago when they had that Gaski fire, which was a really, really big and bad fire, you can see just how close it got to this Patrick Creek resort here. So I don't know if it had something to do with that or what. At least for now, the Patrick Creek Lodge, historic Patrick Creek Lodge, is closed. According to their website, the first lodge built on this site was built in the late 1800s and called the Patrick Creek Stage Station. The present lodge was built in 1926 and became a popular stopping place for travelers. Regular patrons come from Crescent City, Southern Oregon, and all over the U.S. to enjoy the area. As it turns out, the fire did destroy the water tanks and water lines for the building, leaving the lodge no choice but to shut down after nearly 100 years of operation. The future of this lodge is uncertain. There's something you don't see every day. The lodge was not the only victim of the fire. As we're about to find out, this next town is the closest thing to a ghost town you'll find on the 199. The town of Gaski is an unincorporated community in Del Norte County, California, 22 miles south of the Oregon border and 18 miles northeast of Crescent City. The name is in honor of Horace Gaski, who was the owner of the gold mines, hotel, railway, bank, and post office, as well as the founder of Crescent City, which we'll get to in just a little bit. The post office operated in Gaski from 1879 to 1902, and again from 1949 to the present. Pioneer Mary Adams Peacock carried the U.S. mail from Crescent City to Grants Pass, Oregon in the 1880s and 1890s. After operating the hotels at Gaski Village for 9 years under Gaski family management, she operated the hotels alone for 12 years until she married Pete Peacock, who ran the coach station. In 1932, when the Mary Adams Peacock Bridge across the Smith River on U.S. Route 199 near Gaski was named, it was the first bridge in the state to be named for a woman. The bridge was built in 1926 and remodeled in 1985. Mary Ann Adams Peacock passed away in Gaski on July 13, 1942, at the age of 81. I hate to say that the future of Gaski looks bleak, but there was almost no activity in town on the day I was there. I wasn't able to find any open businesses and didn't even see another person the entire time that I was in town. Continuing south from Gaski, it wouldn't be long before you reached the edge of the ancient Redwood Forest, home to some of the oldest and largest living things on planet Earth. The first step toward creation of what is now the Jedediah Smith Redwood State Park took place in 1929 when the 44-acre Frank D. Stout Memorial Redwood Grove was donated to the Save the Redwood League by his widow. In 1945, the 5,000-acre National Tribute Grove was established in honor of all those who served in World War II. This historic state park is our next stop on the trip. took a short walk down to the Smith River, which most of the US-199 runs along on its way to Crescent City. This is the first time I can remember ever being here when there wasn't some sort of drought condition in the area, and as a result, the Smith River is huge. Walking amongst these old trees in this ancient forest is always something that I tell people they should definitely, if you get a chance to do, you should definitely do it sometime in your life, because there's nothing quite like it. And it's always a really peaceful and serene, and some would even say magical experience. This is a place where you could easily spend the entire day, but we've got more to see, so let's get moving. A short drive out of the Redwoods and you'll end up in the quiet beachside community founded by Mr. Horace Gaski in 1854. The closer you get to the ocean, the more beautiful it gets. So we are now here at Crescent City's Battery Point, and you can see off in the distance behind me there, the Battery Point Lighthouse, a historic lighthouse, Civil War era lighthouse actually, that we actually toured. Last time I was here, we took a tour of the Battery Point Lighthouse. So if you haven't seen that, I'll put the link to it in the description, go check it out. We're not gonna go over there today, but it was amazing. It's a place I've been trying to get to for many years. I finally got in there to film just a couple years back, last time I was here. Hello, Mr. Squirrel. Don't be shy. That is a true beach squirrel right there, folks. Right here at Battery Point. This place is truly beautiful, and it's a great way to cap off your tour of the 199 Redwood Highway, ending up down here at the beach. Alright folks, so we made our way down here to Crescent City Harbor, and every time I'm out this way, I like to get a little food at this place right over here, the Chart Room. I'm not a big seafood guy myself. I've heard they've got fantastic seafood, but they've got other stuff that's pretty good too. So we're gonna stop in there, grab a little lunch, and then we'll continue on our way. Now, it might seem like we've come a great distance from where we started out today in Cave Junction, Oregon, but in reality, we've only gone about 50, 60 miles. So this is a pretty easy trip if you happen to be out in this neck of the woods. Something you can easily do in a half day, especially if you want to stop and look at the redwoods and all the other stuff. I mean, there's all kinds of things to do along the Redwood Highway, but I always like to end up down here in Crescent City. Even though it's quite different from where I grew up in Southern California, it does bring back some memories. And everyone does love that ocean smell, at least I do. Man, it has been a good number of years since I've been out here on this beach. I can remember coming down here with my mom and my stepbrother before he passed away, probably about 20 years ago. And to be honest, I don't think I've walked on this beach since then. But one of the things that I really like about Crescent City is the way the forest right behind me there backs up right to the ocean, which is something you don't see in Southern California, but quite common up here. Right now, I'm on what is known as the Street Pier, which usually when I come to Crescent City, this is where I end my day. All right, folks, that's going to wrap it up for today's video. I hope you enjoyed taking this little tour of the 199 from the Oregon side all the way through the redwood forest and down here to the coast, Northern California, Crescent City. A beautiful place. If you get a chance, come check it out. It is a really good time, something you won't forget. But that's going to do it for today, folks. So until next time, until the next video, thank you for joining us. We'll see you down the road.